What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to the Value TV show, the show where we give you tools to build and have healthy relationships. That's right, tools to build and have healthy relationships. I told you guys I was doing hot couple summer, and I got two influential couples on the show. My guy, Xavier, and his beautiful wife, Valerie. How are you guys doing?
Man, how you doing, man?
I'm doing amazing, man.
Yo, I'm loving this, man. The value, I love it.
Yes, that's the main thing of this show is to add value, and so people can have tools. And so this summer I decided, you know what? I want to get some influential couples that I know, because typically sometimes people don't see the behind the scenes or hear the behind the scenes of marriage and committed relationships. And I'm like, you know what? Let's bring these people on so people can hear this and see this live in person.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Definitely. I think it's needed too and necessary.
So before we get started, what do you do, man?
Oh, man.
I know what you do, but I want you to tell the people what you're out here doing.
Man, what's up, y'all? Xavier Lewis. I'm a goat herder. I tap dance on the side, you know. But nah, I'm recording all this, man. Full-fledged production company as well. So everything from sound, hosting, DJing, live entertainment. If you could envision it, we could definitely make it come true.
What about the Sunday's Best? We're not going to skip over it.
Sunday's Best? Man, what do you think? You mean America's Got Talent?
America's Got Talent.
Yeah, well, I actually did do Sunday's Best. I think its second season. It was probably over 5,000 people here in Atlanta. And because that first season was so phenomenal. So, of course, everybody came out.
It might have been the same season as with Zebulon.
Zebulon. We were all in the top 10, top 20 together, man. That was tiring. That was a process. But season 3, America's Got Talent, became a fan favorite to win. Unfortunately, I was in a recording deal at the time. And I couldn't get out of that situation. So I just told him, hey, man, let me go back to Atlanta and keep doing what I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
The lovely wife, Valerie.
Yes. Well, I'm in education. That's been my heartbeat for 22 years now. And in this current state, I'm in an administrative level. So I work with high school kids. Special education is my background. And of course, just doing the community work. So anything related to youth and arts, that's where you'll find me.
And you're also a helpmate to this wonderful man, right?
I know, I'm definitely what keeps him going.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't disagree.
Yeah, there would be no value if I weren't in the equation.
Okay.
Talk the talk early.
We started early, I see. Okay.
Listen,
All right.
I told you guys you get tools to build and have healthy relationships. So if there's a woman out there listening or watching, that was just one tool right there. So listen, how long you guys been married?
Whew.
This is year 16, but we've been together for 22.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
16 years.
Yeah, man.
You guys got kids?
Oh, yeah.
Three.
3 kids.
Three
3
kids.
3 beautiful kids, 2 boys and 1 girl, you know. And I also have my oldest is a daughter, my first. Yeah, man. And I mean, you know, just what we make a family is everything, you know. And really, our world revolves around the family so much that, you know, we're so engulfed in our family that when you kind of step outside of that, it's truly like, okay, well, what's going on out here today, you know? And our kids are like that. Like, they in their own world.
So 16 years, and you said you've been knowing each other for
22.
We've been together in a relationship 22 years.
When did you guys meet?
Oh, I'm glad you asked that question, because she was sitting here talking all that smack, right? So check this out.
His perception
In
of
college,
how it happened.
y'all see she trying to talk over me? Y'all see that?
He really
I'ma
is,
wait.
his mindset is just not right. And he'll tell you, he'll blame it on the pandemic, but he's really forgetful about how these sequence of events
Y'all
happen.
pay attention. Notice, I waited. Fellas, just let her go. Listen, man, we was in college. I worked transportation in college. So you see, she say she in education. She was doing her internship at one of the schools while she was her senior year in college. I picked her up one day from her internship. We got a call. You need to make you got to pick up somebody. So I was like a collegiate Uber driver, right? So I picked her up, you know. I didn't even look at him, man. Got in the car. I just hear somebody, ooh, you smell good. Your cologne smells so good. Hey, man, thank you. I just threw the peace sign up, got her back to the campus, and just sent her on her way, you know. And I mean, we're from Miami. All I know is I went back home. Matter of fact, the only graduation that I ever attended at our university was hers. But, you know, this was before, you know, she was officially in my life like that.
Okay, now, are you going to tell us the truth?
Well, I will say what he shared with you is certainly how it happened. And it was simply me giving him a compliment. But see, he took it further. You know, the part about I didn't even look back or look her way, that was just added. You know, at that time I was in a relationship. So it wasn't me being flirtatious. It was just me saying, wow, for a college young man, he actually smells good and not like a locker room. He took it to a whole nother level. But what he failed to explain to you is that
from my internship.
Whatever.
That's what happened.
He failed to mention that when we moved back to Florida, I was teaching at the school where his mom worked. And there he went across the parking lot as though he knew me. See, before he was saying he didn't know me or he wasn't acknowledging me, but then he's waving as though we were friendly and on friendly terms. So being polite, it was a Christian school. I did the Christian thing and I waved back. And next thing I knew, he was popping up to the school every day. Outside my kindergarten classroom, asking what was going on. And so, of course, at that point, you know.
So we got a divine intervention
A
coming
divine intervention.
God saw fit.
He did. He
My mic
did.
turned all the way up right now.
So listen, you guys meet, and
Yep.
of course, obviously, you guys have some type of synergy. You guys
Yeah.
click together. You guys become a union.
Yeah.
At what point did you ask her to marry you? Like, how did that happen?
Yeah, you know, that moment was very interesting for me, because when that moment finally arrived, like I was totally ready for it, you know, and I was young, like I was totally ready for it though. I forget how many years it had been, but it definitely had been already about 4 or 5 years, and into our relationship, and it was at that moment I said, you know what, we've been able to withstand times of courtship that a typical regular relationship would not. Mm-hmm. We've been able to just embark upon, like, I don't know, relationship hills and peaks that, like, our approach for each other. You know, if she was sick, like, it wasn't a run away from that. It wasn't like, okay, feel better, I'll call you later. You know, it was truly, okay, let's see what medicine works. You know, the thing that married people do. And once we made it through all of those different phases of relationship, like, I knew, I was ready. It wasn't any doubt or any question. And I spoke with my mom about it, you know, and whether it was something she agreed upon or not, it was just to respectfully let her know I'm getting ready to go to another phase.
And I think it was strange because at the end of the day, I think we kind of knew what we wanted in life. You know, as I mentioned, we were in Florida, and at that point, I had just applied to Howard University to go to graduate school. Got accepted, and I told Xavier, okay, I'm going to DC. And he's like, what? I said, yeah, I'm out. And so one thing I will say is, in relationships, you do consider the other person, but one thing I think when you're coming to the table together, you have to make sure that you are still addressing those things that are good for you. Mm-hmm. And shockingly, I think it was within maybe a few months.
No.
When?
A few weeks more like it.
He decided, oh, I'm coming to DC too. I think he felt like he had to definitely make a claim on his state, because you know he was talking about these HBCU gentlemen and going to DC, and so I was like, Xavier, there's no threat there. Truly, my focus was getting my master's, but he realized he needed to come to DC to make sure that, you know, he didn't
You
lose out.
gonna ask me to tell the truth?
Let me extend a helping hand.
Oh my
to
God.
Xavier. I believe.
Throw him a life jacket.
Oh my God, man.
I believe he was fighting for what he wanted.
Because that's a good way to
he
frame
fought
it.
for what he wanted. And now
Yeah.
you guys are
Absolutely.
I need you to free your screen. Now let's get the truth. All right. So
No.
this is what happened. We were in Miami. We were talking about her possibly working on her graduate, going
Masters.
for her master's. Okay. She related the fact that she was interested in Howard. I said apply. She applied. She got accepted. I said go. Notice what she said though. Okay. So I gave her my blessing on it. Here's the thing. It just so happened, by coincidence. What I will say is it wasn't in the plan to move to DC. It probably would have been a long distance relationship. I'm coming back and forth constantly. So DC was always in my, rotation, travel rotation. But at the time I was in a big gospel group. We were touring and we were everywhere ourselves. And so it truly wasn't necessarily in the mix. But yeah, okay, I got my plane ticket. I'll be there in 2 weeks. That would have definitely been it. And just some things transpired that opened up the door for me to say, okay, you know what? I think it's time for a new journey altogether. And so I was able to kind of come to DC, and man, that was truly, I think, that was the foundational moment of our relationship.
And I guess if for your viewers, the tool would be know what it is that you want and stick with the script. Regardless of what family, friends, society says, if you know that this is the path that you want to go on, gamble on it. Take the risk. If it works out, that's icing on the cake. If it doesn't, there's always a learning opportunity in everything you do.
Yeah.
Don't look at it as a failure, just look at it as a lesson learned to better you for the next situation. So I would say that stage in our relationship definitely taught us that to be true to who we were, what we wanted, regardless of all the outside noise.
So you guys got marriage, you got kids,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of couples that listen and they watch the show, they got married, they're married and they have kids. And when I'm talking to couples, I talk about this complimenting and competing.
Yeah.
Right? Because I always say if you're in a relationship, you should not be competing with your partner. You guys are on the same team.
Right.
And the moment you start competing, then the decrease in communication, all the influence in the relationship starts to dissolve.
Right.
So, Xavier, do you ever find yourself, or let me say this, how do you compliment your wife in the relationship?
Man, you asking questions that we've, engulfed our relationship in all 22 years. We've brought our worlds together since day one, meaning we've been that edutainment relationship. She's been in education, I've been in entertainment, and so just always supporting her. I'm Pisces, shout out to all the Pisces out there. Yes, the best sign, I get it. Whoop, whoop. I hear y'all yelling Pisces. But anyway, we're creatives. And so it's been moments, man, when I've just gone to her classroom and done things in her classroom and built things in her classroom that the other teachers, the faculty and staff are going crazy over, like, man, can you come do this in my room? Just embracing what she does, but not just allowing her to say, go to work and do that every day, but also challenging her to constantly evolve in what she does. And I think that's important. We could so easily get caught up in complacency or just being comfortable, after a while, like, hey, I'm in my career, I go to work and I do this every day. Okay, what's that process gonna be? And so we've always challenged each other. When I noticed certain traits in her, I knew she had something that was past just the classroom with a blackboard or chalkboard. You know, I knew she possessed the ability to say, have her own school. So we started talking about things like that. We started to really dig deep and say, okay, within the education field, how do you see yourself sprinkling your concepts and seeing those come true? And so, man, we've always just...
That's a good form of compliment right there.
Yeah.
When he's given that analogy, the word I always talk about too is the studying.
Yeah.
Do you find yourself, or have you found yourself over the course of years studying your husband, studying Xavier,
Yeah.
to see those needs and those ways to compliment him?
Absolutely. And I think, you know, when you're in a relationship at any stage, whatever it is, whether it's courtship or marriage, you're learning that other person. You know, you're learning the things to do, to say. Sometimes those things lead to arguments, but I think then those things also need to be where you can maturely have a discussion, openly reflect and say, okay, what role did I play in that discussion? And did I take something away from it so that I know how to better not, you know, make sure that that conflict doesn't happen again? Or, okay, what things might I notice in him that I can also compliment and help him to grow? And so it's a constant thing. Even now, 22 years later, there's still things that we're learning about each other. Why? Because we still evolve as individuals. I'm not the same 21-year-old girl when we started off. You know, I'm a grown woman now. And so in this stage of life, I'm not doing those things that I was, and same thing for him. And so yes, it's like school. Life is a journey.
Yeah.
I mean, you never fully know someone, but we know each other deep enough. But I know how to compliment him. I know when to fall back. I know when, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna keep quiet. Or I know when to push and say, no, you need to go after this opportunity a little bit more aggressively. And sometimes it just takes me getting behind the scenes and saying, I'm gonna make this phone call. All right, Xavier, you got a meeting with such and such. You know, those kind of things, because I know that that's that next phase. You know, in the music journey, we know that's a cutthroat industry. Not everyone's gonna make it in music. Not everyone has the talent to make it in music. But if it's your passion and it's your dream, then we have to find ways to be able to make it. I've had plenty of friends say, girl, you need to tell Xavier he just gotta go get a job. You know, and that was early on. But I knew that that was his passion. So I had to find ways where it made sense. Even to my mom. Singing is a hobby. That ain't a career. You know, and so when you have these people in your ear making you believe that, I had to find ways to say, you know what, I can't give up on him. And I have to study what makes him tick. I have to study what's going to take him to the next level and just do my part when I can.
Okay, but before I go into this exercise, you used the word, the cutthroat of the industry.
Yeah.
And so I want Xavier to answer this question as well after you.
Yeah.
So what are ways that you cover him? You know, so you had friends coming at you saying this, mom coming at you saying this, he's still pursuing his dream. Now he's in that dream, he's working in that passion.
Yeah.
How are you as a woman covering him in those situations and when he's out on the road?
Absolutely. Well, first and foremost, always prayer. You know, you just got to pray. Behind the scenes, you know, when he wakes up, because, you know, there's women coming at you in the music industry. You know, you want to make sure that your marriage is solid. You know, sometimes it just me staying home with the kids. I couldn't go to all the shows. You know, they were young. So him knowing I'm okay with you going out there. I wasn't down his throat, and I'm not, you know, who was talking to you. I'm not sniffing his shirt. I'm not doing those kind of things, and allowing him to freely be and trusting that he would respect and value our marriage.
Okay.
And so being able to cover him meant that in my actions and in my intentions towards him in his career, he could move freely without that additional pressure that I know he's already going up against in the world.
Okay. Xavier.
You know, a lot of times, man, that term, pray about it, you know, a lot of times, realistically speaking, people play with prayer. And they toss it around as though it's something that's just kind of like this skip to my loo type of gesture, you know? And so, you know, I knew already from early on what my journey would be in the entertainment industry, because I said, okay, God, I want family before I got have a music career. You know how many people get the opposite? They get the music career first and they question love forever. They question if it's real. The relationships they get in aren't solid. They never work. Even if they do fall head over heels for someone, there's still some sense of, I wonder if this person is just here because of who I am, you know. And so I didn't want to be out there in a world that's unbalanced, and you know, I wanted to have that balance. And so I knew, you know, I also said I wasn't willing to steal, kill, rob, you know, I wasn't willing to do any of that for it. So I knew what my climb up that hill would be. And at the end of the day, I embraced it. I embraced that journey. So because I did pray for that, I was in a position whereas I was totally locked in to the things that were going on. And that's something that we were just talking about the other day. You know, it's just like, that's something else that people play with. That journey, you know, they say faith without works is dead, or, you know, at the end of the day, when you're moving and you're operating in faith, it's not like you see clearly all the time. You don't know. Sometimes you just moving and you like, man, I don't know. And truly, you consider that to be the definition of faith. But I tell people all the time, man, at the end of the day, you got to be so in tune with what's going on that whether it's something you want to hear or not, you're so locked in that good times, bad times, sunny days, rainy days, you know you're on course.
Yeah. There's another word you used. There's a word you used earlier called you used complacency, and there's an exercise I do with couples. It's called meeting again, and it's something I had to learn, and I still train my mind over the course of the last 6 years, where I intentionally meet my partner again as if it was the first day, the first week, the first month, the first 2 years, 3 years, however many years someone has been together. Because like you said, complacency comes in or familiarity kicks in, and now that's just Xavier, that's just Valerie, that's just whoever, that's just whomever, you know? And the meeting again, because when you first met him or her, whether it was the first week or the first month or the first 2 years, you studied them intentionally. You paid attention to the intricate details. You knew the way that he liked his food made. You knew the way that she liked her clothes ironed. You knew the way that he wanted to, what time he wanted to get up, how to set the alarm, all those little intricate details, you know? How he wanted his clothes folded, you know what I mean? What type of adventures she liked to go on. But then somewhere over the course of time, familiarity sets in, and now we're just meeting, not meeting again. And so this intentionality comes where you're studying, you're not becoming complacent, and now you're like, you know what, 20-something years later, I'm still meeting you again as if it's the first time. I did this the other day. I was literally out in the store, and I was like, man, you know what? This is how I train my mind. And this is even what I be teaching couples. Like I was in the store and I was thinking of something that my fiance liked that she was talking about. And my mind and my memory said, oh, that's right. She said she liked the coloring books. Going to Michael's. Get the coloring book with the crayons. Oh, that's right. I got to get some flowers to connect these dots. But then in my mind I said, no, I need to go a little further because I'm going to meet her again today as if it was that first week or that first 2 weeks or first month. So this is the background of how I'm training my mind to do this. And so with you guys, I'm curious of how do you, well, let's start with you, Xavier. How do you meet Valerie again as if it was that first month or that first 6 months?
Well, you know what's crazy? That meet again, phase or analogy, I think that all differs per relationship because you could have a sneaker wearer, and then you could have that chick who's always in high heels to go to the gas station, right? So I think it's based off of the maintenance of y'all established relationship, right? And so for me, the meet again, we've always been, when I say easygoing, I don't think that ultimately describes us, but we're not high maintenance. And we make the most out of the little things. And it's interesting that you speak about that, or you ask that, because we could turn just an opportunity to walk through Walmart into a big deal. Literally. And for a lot of couples, they may say, what? Like how? But, like for example, we just celebrated our 16th wedding anniversary. And so on this particular weekend, it was full of events for me. And so where you have typically couples, things like birthdays and anniversaries, it's a big deal. No, you're not working. We're taking a trip. We're getting a hotel. It was just like, listen, us being together is everything. And then with what I'm doing, we're at shows. I'm doing sound for bands, and bring the lawn chair, bring a bottle of champagne, come and hang out with me at all my shows this weekend. And it truly became like, this was really cool. Get dressed up nice, come hang out. You don't have to worry about standing in a line, getting a ticket, this and that, and we just truly enjoyed each other's company. And we were able to share with the crowd or with whomever, hey, we celebrating our anniversary this weekend. And so I might have been doing sound for a musician, a sax player, and we're there enjoying. I'm working, making him sound good, but we're able to enjoy the performance, at the same time together. So for
our relationship did start off of those simple things. When we were courting, we would just literally get in the car, sit in the parking lot. We'd run into Subway and get chocolate chip cookies, come back in the car, and we'd just sit.
We'll make sure that they had to warm them up.
They had to warm them up. I mean,
and I'm
so
talking
it was
about
simple for us.
Hours.
That's how we started. So when you're talking about meeting again, it almost seemed like we just maintained that. It was just the simple things that we could think about, that we connected, that made us know each other better. It was a deeper connection. Obviously, yes, there was physical chemistry and all of that jazz, but at the end of the day, we could just get in the car and we'd listen to music. And now those songs, when we hear them today, they bring back to those moments. They become a soundtrack to our relationship. So I think when you're saying this meeting again, we've simply just maintained the simple things, the simple moments. We're homebodies, believe it or not. Neither one of us are introverts. You think introverts are people that want to just stay home. We're both extroverts. We're very social, but we like being at home with our kids, with each other, watching TV, whatever it is. And so for us, I think we're meeting each other again every day.
I love it. Yeah. I love it. Check it out. I got 2 words that I give couples when they're on the show.
Yeah.
Each person gets a word, and then I want you to tell me what that word means to you and how it applies to your relationship.
Okay.
So what that word means to you and how it applies to your relationship. So I'm gonna go with Xavier first.
Oh man, no pressure, man. Gee.
It's all right. The word is fragile.
Ooh, fragile. What it means to me and how it applies to the relationship. Fragile is a very, very, very important word to me. And I'm going to take and I am going to attach its definition to another word, foundation. So for me, I've always been big on us establishing our foundation. And even during those courtship years, it was very important for our foundation to be established on the many different chapters of friendship to even get to 16 years of marriage, 22 years of being a couple. If our foundation is fragile, when the whispers come in, we easily crack. We easily fall through. And so, fragile is very important. but more so, it's important for the foundation of our relationship to not be fragile. My wife's strong, so I don't equate fragile with her. She has thick skin, she's strong. Our relationship is rooted on rock solid, you know, and so we aren't necessarily in a position to how could I say, you know, cry tears over what's fragile and what isn't. But we just made sure that our foundation wasn't fragile. If that answers the question, that's just one thing. I just wanted to make sure our foundation was not fragile, and it was strong, and it was built off of what was necessary. Mm-hmm. You know, I think when it comes to the foundation not being fragile, one thing that I'd like to say to couples out there, right? Embrace the different stages of friendship. I know what it's like for her to just be a friend, an acquaintance, a best friend, a sister, a wife, a girlfriend, you know, a mother now. I know all of those different stages of friendship with her, and I think that's made it even more so that when those moments come, I know how to be her friend in a certain situation, be her best friend in another situation, her boyfriend and her husband in two totally different situations, so that we eliminate fragile moments.
Nice. I like that answer. Valerie.
Yes.
Confident.
So I think it kind of goes back. The definition would be being assured, being self-aware, being strategic in your moves. I guess I would define confidence as that, and how it applies in our relationship. I'm confident in what Xavier shows me as the leader of our home, in terms of, I know without a shadow of a doubt that I'm loved by him. Mm-hmm. With all my flaws and imperfections, he knows every layer of me, but I'm confident that he'll take care of me in the end.
Yeah.
Now, have there been, and it goes back to some of his words, or to his word, have there been some cracks? Yes, of course, because none of us are perfect. But I think even in those moments, we didn't break. You know, there were many couples, and we have this conversation all the time, our friends that, you know, we all got married around the same time or started off in relationships, and they're no longer couples. And that breaks our heart, like to the point where, you know, some of them, I mean, we've cried tears, like, y'all can't let this go. What are you talking about? But I'm confident in knowing that when we started off our relationship, shout out to to Pastor Frederick Russell, who told us divorce is not an option. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of times we see couples give up easily. And the confidence that we can make this work is what I hold on to. Regardless of what comes at us, we've made it this far, and so I'm confident that we can go even further. We look at older couples that tell you we've been in this thing 40, 50, 60 years, you know, and you're like, wow, how did y'all do it? We knew they came up in a different era, but I think you have to have the confidence that your love can stand the test of time, and that's what's going to make it. That's what's going to help you, or allow the both of you to make it even further day by day. I have to be confident that he loves me when he says he does. And he has to also be confident to know that when I say I love you, and our love and how we express it and show it may be different, mm-hmm. but he has to also be confident that when I say it, that it's meant and it's felt.
Listen, man, I'm telling y'all, if you guys are listening and watching intently, taking notes, observing, not distracted by your phone or somebody else, there are tools that are gonna bless and help and build your relationship to make it strong. And I hope this man don't think he's getting off this show without these vocals being utilized. I literally was waiting for this moment because I really believe in this moment. This is how much I believe in this moment and believe in this dude. That in this moment when he sings this tune,
Oh my God.
this is going to be the theme song for the Value TV show when it's global and when it's on the networks.
Dude.
So y'all prepare, because mark my moment. I'm saying, mark my word. I'm saying it on camera. So really, brother, and I know his musical skills. The name of the show obviously is the Value TV show. So while we closing out right now, I just need you to
He's trying to
sing.
get me on bloopers.
I just need you to sing something about the Value TV show. Include the words "the Value TV show" in there,
Put a
and
jingle
close us
together.
out. Whatever comes to your heart, because I got a feeling it's about to be the one. Don't keep the people waiting now,
Yo, why he had to do me like this?
because I can't sing.
Dude. Oh my gosh, man.
It has to have the word value in it.
Oh,
Value
you just
TV
pushing this
show.
envelope, man. You just.
Watch this. Watch how God move right now in this moment. Boom. There it go. I'm just going to look at my card.
Oh man. How about I get in the studio and work on this for you?
How about we hit that note right
Oh
there?
my.
All I need is something saying the Value TV show. We just going to close with Xavier's voice for those who watching over in another state, over in another country, and they're like, man, I know I can, you probably can go click his link and hear something, but I want you to get it fresh on the show. All we need is the word Value TV show.
Oh my God. Oh, oh, oh. If you want your love to stay true, it's all about the value. Hey, hey, Value TV show. Cut.
That was a draft. He
Yo,
was playing with the words.
Get back over here, man.
Yo, man.
Get back over here so I
You
can
said
close it out.
If you want your love to stay,
That was pretty good.
no,
though, right?
man.
Listen, you guys. If you guys are single, dating, married, and you're looking for a place to have tools to build healthy relationships, tune into the Value TV show. My wonderful guest Xavier and his lovely wife Valerie. I thank you guys so much.
no, thank you for having us. This was great.
Yeah,
All right.
this was awesome.
Yeah.